All right, guys, let's move on to the side pose. I'm going to try to move this along a little bit quicker because I know it's really hard for me not to get into all the details and give you all the information, but it's lots of great info. So if you stick in there or come back and finish watching it later, please do. You're going to get so much content. Okay, so just to first of all point out with these ladies, this is what I consider an open style of posing, in basically meaning two things. It's not NPC style, and it is open in that it is up to your discretion. It is a side pose, but it doesn't have to look a very specific way. Okay, so it's fine what they're all doing. Now, I've got lots of things to say about all of these, and you probably do too. Please drop me some comments of what you're seeing right away. As soon as I flash it on the screen, you're like, oh girl, we need to change this, this, this. That looks awesome. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you're seeing. And if you agree with some of my critiques. So I think what I'm going to do to maybe go a little bit faster is I'm just going to go down each person and tell you the things I like and don't like and what I would change. Okay, and that might be a little bit quicker. So let's start with the lady over here on the left. So I think I would like to see her front foot maybe turned a little bit more towards the audience, so that it would pop her quad out a little bit more. I know she's got her knee bent, but she may want to play with that and just see where that comes in. The other thing I would like to do here is squeeze that glute. Okay, if you squeeze that glute in the side pose, you can lift that bottom glute, bottom part right here that tends to be a little saggy sometimes, just kind of hangs out, and then you just have that that line, but it can give you that fullness in your rear end as well. Now, the other thing that really stands out to me for her is this arm. Okay, so I'm not getting much out of that. Like, this side looks nice, okay, because we've got she could bring that elbow forward just a little bit more towards the audience. And what that would do is that would pop out her delts even more. If she was able to show her lats, then I'd be able to see that in there as well. But over here, I don't have any lats at all, right? I don't have anything else going with this arm. I have a little bit of a shoulder cap. But if she were to bend that elbow out, more like this lady here, you can see what I'm talking about, okay? And I'll come back to the fourth lady, but since we're talking about the first lady, I want you to compare that. Look at the first person compared to this person with their arm, okay? You see what I'm talking about? We've got a couple of things going on. I can see her lats. They look beautiful. They're fully flared out. Now, she may or may not know how to flare her lats, but they are missing, absolutely missing, which is a huge opportunity for that. Okay, the other thing, with the fourth lady's arm being a little bit bent there, it really pops out her shoulder cap as well. And this arm's just kind of missing a lot, okay? So let's go back to lady number one. I like that she's smiling. I like that she's looking at the judges. And she actually looks to be fairly relaxed. Now, if possible, I would like to also see her chest lifted a little bit more and more of an arch in her back. That would really accentuate her curves. Okay, so now I'm going to move over to the second lady here. And where is your arm? There's no arm. All I see is a hand. Don't forget, ladies, if you're going to be turning like this, to not leave one of those arms behind you, because that's a whole extremity that the judges can't look at. They can't judge you for it, right? So the more you can show them, the better, absolutely. So first of all, we don't have an arm. This arm, left arm here looks really nice, actually. She's got a beautiful shoulder cap, and we couldn't really see that as much in her front pose. So now that's popping out there. She could bring that hand a little closer to her bottom so that we have more of a diamond shape in here, which does also accentuates the curves. Okay, and then I would probably have her turn a little bit more. So if she's gonna have that arm up, you might as well turn your body around, right? So like her, you can see a lot of her front part of her body is same thing for her. So for this particular organization, and you're allowed to turn yourself, do it. Okay, so again, she is smiling, which is really nice. Looks like she's got her chest fairly high, trying to keep her belly tight. I would probably do something else with her legs just so that we could really show them off a little bit better. And the other thing I'm looking at is her hand. She looks a little bit fisted, whereas I didn't talk about that with this one, but she's nice and relaxed, and I do want that. Okay, so all the little details. Let's move over to the lady in the middle. All right, couple things here. She looks very straight. Okay, she tends to be pretty lean anyway. She doesn't have a ton of muscle to accentuate her curves, and she's not doing herself any favors by not having a shape. Okay, so what I mean by that is not only is she not turned with her upper body, she's also got these arms away from her body. And when she does that and she has all this space in here, there's no perception that there's any more curves. So she just looks very straight, and it's not as aesthetically pleasing when you don't have the curves. Okay, so the things that she could help herself with is to bend this arm a little bit more, make sure that shoulder comes around and I can see it. Even better if she were to turn her whole body so that her front could be seen and she would look wider. So that's the problem, is that she's so small that she needs to look wider. And she's making herself look smaller by showing less of her body. Does that make sense? Okay. And then she doesn't have a whole lot, at least from this perspective, it looks like she doesn't have much going on with her legs. So I would like to see something else there to try to pop as much as possible. And she does have a beautiful smile going on, so that's always good. The other thing, and this is a small one because she's doing pretty good with it, but a little bit of hair covering her shoulders, so you want to be careful of that as well. All right, so let's move over to my favorite poser for this group of women, as you know, and we're going to go to the fourth lady. Okay, so we've already kind of talked about a lot of good things here. We already know from her front pose as well that her lower half is a little bit bigger than her upper half, so symmetry is important, and what she's doing here really accentuates her symmetry in a really good way, because she's opening her upper body towards the audience and she's bending her leg. She's minimizing the legs while maximizing her upper body, which makes her look more even and symmetrical top and bottom. Okay, so that's huge. The judges aren't analyzing all of that. They're just looking at a picture. And if you guys are sitting there looking at these five ladies and you're like, well, who looks the best? Who looks shapely? Who looks symmetrical? And it's definitely her. So a couple other things I want to point out with her. She's got her leg bent, which is really nice. I can also see her calf down here a bit. The other thing she's doing, and you can't really see it, she may be squeezing that glute, which would be a good idea. I would move her hand away just like an inch or two, just so you're not covering those glutes, okay? So she's really close there, but it's hard to tell when you're on stage sometimes. So lots of practice with all of that. Okay, so the one thing I would have her do is this arm. She's got it in a good spot. I can see those shoulders, but barely. So bring that back arm forward meaning towards the judges, okay, like this one. Okay, the other thing I want to point out that she's doing that I really like is the way that she's got this whole area going on, okay? This is perfect. She's got the diamond, and the diamond is something I like to teach for that side pose. What you're looking at there is this angle accentuates this angle, okay? So it makes her look like she's got quite a nice shapely waistline. She may or may not, but it certainly looks that way because we've got it curve here, 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 like all the way down. She's got some nice curves going on, and it makes her look very even. So this is accentuating this. And if she were to bring this arm forward so that it's the same as this one, she would look nice and wide up top, and I'd have the opportunity to probably see both lats. Okay, so very nice, but those are still some little things. Smiling, head in the right place. Excellent. All right, and last but not least, let's come over here to our final lady. Okay, and she's got a couple things that she could definitely help herself out with. One thing is, if you may notice, looks very uncomfortable because this part of her body is is turned backwards. It's not even facing the judges. Look where her feet are. Her toes are pointed behind the line towards the back of the stage. Don't do that. Please don't do that. She's really doing herself a disservice here. You can see what I mean with the other ladies that are turned a little bit more forward. So what she really needs to do is look at bringing her hips around a little bit more backwards, like either straight or even further back like hers. Okay. She is another one who looks like she's fairly lean. She's got beautiful arms, beautiful shoulders. I can only see one of them though. Where's this arm? So I'd really like to see more of her. I can only judge on that arm, really. It's the only thing that looks decent in this photo. She does have that diamond going on, but it doesn't really help her because there's nothing countering on the other side. Does that make sense? So symmetry is, it's upper body versus lower body, but it's also left versus right. And, as much as you can show something that's balanced, it's definitely more aesthetically pleasing, and it really helps to show off all of the assets and things you've been working so hard for. And she is also smiling and looking in the right place. So everybody's doing a great job with that. As you learned from my last video, it's super important to have a posing coach. There are like 17 things to think about in each pose, not including transitions, moving on stage, etc. If you're doing a figure competition this year, please go to my website and schedule yourself a free consultation. I would love to talk to you and help you look your best. Thank you for watching and subscribing. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you next week.